Don't disrespect fighters and what they do, because you're damaging the sport.
This is Jonathan Agger, fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Spencer Oliver. Spencer, it isn't the fight, the main event we were expecting, but it is a good fight. Lawal Chamberlain, what is this going to come down to, in your opinion?
Do you know what I feel? Let's start with Dan Azeez and Joshua Buatsi. You know, I spoke to Dan Azeez today. It's legitimate. He pulled a ligament in his back. He was meant to come into TalkSport actually, but he couldn't even do that. So we've done it over Zoom. I thought he'd give a great account of himself on there as well. You know, it's one of those things that he was in the final training session on the Tuesday. He felt a twinge go in his back, and as the day went on, he recognised it was worse. He went to see a specialist, and the specialist said no way. And you get that, right? A fight of this magnitude, you can't go in there unless you're 100% fit, and he wasn't 100% fit, so he's pulled it. And yeah, it's frustrating for the fight fans, because like him and Joshua Buatsi was a great fight. For, you know, as a trade fight, you understand WBA number 1, number 2 for the right to fight, final eliminator, right to fight. You know, Deontay Wilder. You knew that this was a serious fight, so I understand why Dan pulled out, and it is really frustrating. I also feel sorry for Joshua Buatsi, who's worked so hard to get there. But I think they both understand that, you know, if an injury's occurred, then you've got to postpone it. Do I think we'll get it this side of Christmas? Definitely not. I think that that will probably land in January, February time, because I think that he's got to let his back heal totally and then get back into it. But if you know Dan Azeez, he's a guy that's done it the hard way on the road. He's taken fights that, you know, he's won Southern Area, English, British, Commonwealth, European. He don't mind fighting in the other guy's backyard. He's not a guy that pulls out of a fight for any sort of reason. So you've got to recognise that he would have only pulled out for a legitimate reason, and that's what it was. Legitimately injured himself, so gutted. But Mikael Lawal, so this show has been saved by Mikael Lawal and Isaac Chamberlain, and it's a great fight. That could have been top of the bill anywhere, if I'm totally honest. You know, with these two, stylistically, it's a great fight, man. And New York Hall's got something magical about it. It brings out something magical in fighters. I'm expecting a little barnstormer with that one, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know Dan Azeez went on TalkSport today. I assume that's where you spoke to him, and he was saying that recent comments from Eddie Hearn is kind of damaging. Of course. I knew that, right? He was like saying, you know, comments from Eddie Hearn suggesting ticket sales, you know, damaging his image and things like that. Do you agree with him?
Absolutely. You know, you can't go like, it was legitimately, he was injured. It was nothing to do with ticket sales or anything like that. Like he says, like, you know, damaging the boxer's image by saying, you know, did he pull out because of that, or, you know, for whatever reason Eddie was coming up with, or whatever he was saying, is there's a line you don't cross, man. Like, that guy's worked hard to get to where he's got to. He's worked hard to get in this fight. He's not going to pull out for any sort of reason. So Dan, yeah, expressed his upset, his anger really on there towards Eddie, saying, listen, don't disrespect fighters and what they do, because you're damaging the sport and damaging boxers by doing that. And I understand what Dan was saying by saying that. Yeah, it was maybe gone a step too far already by saying that, if I'm totally honest, because Dan is like one of those, I know he ain't that guy. He ain't going to pull out for whatever reasons. You know what I mean? It was legit.
Just come off Spence, because I know you want to get out of here. Joshua Wilder, as far as you're concerned, why is this fight not happening? We've been talking about it. We thought it was going to happen after the Hellenius fight. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, you must be as frustrated as everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a frustrating time for Anthony Joshua. Now they've made that Alexander Usyk Tyson Fury fight. It's sort of forced all the other heavyweights now to go, right, you need to start making these fights now, the best versus the best. So we wanted to see Joshua versus Wilder. I know the Skills Challenge, we're going to put that fight on out in Saudi Arabia. That's fallen flat on his face. For whatever reason, the money's not there no more, so that fight seems to have gone away. Down to Eddie maybe to see if he can make that. He was talking about Wembley. I don't know where he's at with that, and possibly staging that fight in Britain. But we've got to recognise the Saudi money ain't there to take the money wherever else you go. Like, so if you feel, you know, the Millennium Stadium, or if you feel Wembley Stadium, there's big money on the table still. So that's a fight I think that Anthony Joshua needs now, Deontay Wilder needs, or if not, so like if Joshua's looking for an opponent because that's fallen through, have a look at someone like Aj-Zhang. You know that he would take the fight. You know, he's coming off them good wins, so his stock's risen massively after the Joe Joyce fight. So like Anthony Joshua versus Aj-Zhang, a repeat of the 2012 quarterfinals, you know, and that was a good fight then. I think Joshua won 15-11 in that, had Zhang down as well. So yeah, let's see that again. But we need to see Joshua in a meaningful fight now, that is for sure, because of, you know, the announcement of the Undisputed.
Spence, just plug your podcast with Johnny Nelson. How's that all going, and where do people watch it?
Yeah, the first belt is a YouTube show that me and Johnny Nelson are doing. We're filming another one tomorrow, actually. So yeah, make sure you tune in and have a little look at that. It's good fun. Me and Johnny, we've known each other for a long, long time, and yeah, do a little YouTube show, put out there just our thoughts, our honest thoughts on what's going on in the world of boxing.
Two of the most honest people in boxing, for sure. Spencer, thanks. Thanks very much.
He's made say otherwise, but there you go.
Spencer, appreciate your time.
Cheers, John.